All right, what is going on, Patriots fans? This is Jason Cole from the Patriots Drive podcast, and it's like Christmas Day. There's a lot of Christmas days for NFL fans, but schedule release came out today, and there were a lot of leaks and rumors of what was going to happen. But we finally have an official schedule for the New England Patriots and for the NFL, and there's a lot of exciting games. New England has a league high 5 primetime games, and we'll get more into that. But people might be sick of the Patriots, but the TV ratings ain't sick of them. And, New England is going to be on primetime TV, and it's going to be fun to watch as Patriots fans. So, Cole, as we pull up the graphic, what were kind of some of your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I think the big one that we need to probably touch on first is week 1. We play Miami in Miami. So that's huge. The Patriots everybody knows how much the Patriots have struggled throughout the year playing Miami at the end of the season. It's always a nightmare for the Patriots. Going from 30-degree weather in Foxborough to 80-degree weather in Miami it's such a shock to your system of just such a change in scenery. You can't prepare for that. Like, you can play indoors for the week and try to practice there, but you're living in the 30-degree weather, maybe below that sometimes in December, January. Patriots have a 2-9 record under Bill Belichick as a head coach, playing in December and January in Miami. So it's clearly been quite a daunting task for the Patriots. Playing them in September, first week of the year, it's much less of a shock to the system, going from the temperatures here and in Foxborough and Massachusetts and stuff to Miami at that time of year. So I think that's going to be big. We play Miami late in the year at home. That's going to be tough for them, going from that heat down to this cold weather. So that's the first thing that jumps out to me.
Yeah, and New England's going to be used to the heat from training camp. They're going to be, ready for it. So I am excited to see that, where, we get to start off with Miami for the 3rd year in a row, but we're not at home week 1. We get to play at Miami and, get that out of the way. And honestly, that might be the most improved team in the AFC East for sure, maybe in the whole AFC, outside of the Browns, who got Deshaun Watson, but getting Tyreek Hill and some of the other guys they did, that's going to be a tough task week 1. I'm excited to see New England get out there. And then we get to go to Pittsburgh. This is always a fun matchup for New England. When Big Ben was there, it'll be interesting to see what it's like with Kenny Pickett, who's ever under center for the Steelers, week 2. But starting off the season, 2 games on the road, and then you get to open up with Baltimore, which is always a fun game. Matt Judon, the storylines there. And last time we played Baltimore, we got the best of them. And Lamar Jackson's always electric to watch and fun to see. So I think it's definitely interesting that we go back-to-back away games to start off the year, and then week 3 we get the home opener against Baltimore.
Yeah, and then that Baltimore game, like you said, that Judon going back there, that's going to be interesting. But then week 4 at Lambeau, Mac's first time at Lambeau, that's going to be a really fun game to watch at 4:25 on Sunday. So that's going to be a good time for that one. Lambeau Field is one of the most historic fields in all of football. So that's certainly going to be an experience for a lot of these guys. So I'm super excited about that one. Then week 5, we play the Lions at home Sunday at 1. So that should be hopefully not too tough of a game for us. Then back on the road to Cleveland to face the new look Browns with Deshaun Watson at the helm.
Yeah, and it's interesting getting Green Bay early in the year. You probably won't have to deal with some of that Lambeau weather. That'll be favorable, but New England's used to that. I mean, they're not afraid of the weather, but it gets pretty crazy at Lambeau sometimes, so that's a little favorable. And then, yeah, you got Detroit. The question here is Jameson Williams healthy by then? Aiden Hutchinson, they hit 2 very high draft picks, and it'll be interesting to see how they fare in New England. And then you mentioned it, Deshaun Watson's been a killer for New England, and now he's not on the Texans anymore. We have to deal with him, and we have to go to Cleveland, and it'll be interesting to see, how that dynamic works with Amari Cooper. They obviously have a great run game and offensive line with Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and so that'll be an interesting game for New England, who's always struggled with mobile quarterbacks, especially Deshaun Watson. So another exciting game. Monday Night Football, so it's going to be an 8:15 kickoff. You got Mac versus Justin Fields, the 2 of the top quarterbacks in the class last year. Obviously, the last 2 selected in the first round, where Chicago trades up to get him. But you get a primetime Monday Night Football game of Mac Jones, Justin Fields in New England. I'm excited as heck for that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to watch. The first of many matchups in store for these two. He's in the NFC, so we won't see him as often, but that certainly was a big discussion during the draft last year. Patriots were reportedly very interested in Fields. Obviously, it seems like it was just a cover-up for actually wanting Mac Jones to fall to them. But the Bears trade up, get Fields. I was excited about Fields. I would have liked him here as well, but obviously Mac Jones seems to be the right decision for us. But that's certainly going to be an intriguing matchup for two young quarterbacks who were highly thought of during the draft process last season. So after that, back on the road, playing the Jets, week 8. Actually, so that week 7 one, just to touch on that, the Bears play, I believe, on the Thursday night before that. So they have 11 days of rest for that game for us. We just have the normal 7-8 days because that's a Monday Night Football. So they'll have some extra rest heading into that game, extra time to prepare and get ready. Then back on the road against the Jets, week 8, Sunday at 1. Division matchup. Those are always huge, especially on the road. Then week 9 at home versus the Colts. That'll be a good one. Hopefully the run game isn't as terrifying as it was last year, and maybe the Patriots can stop that a little bit better than late in the year. It's good to play a team like this earlier in the season rather than late, because you're playing them late in the year. You're beat up, and then the run game can sometimes just be too much to overcome. So that's certainly going to be a fun matchup as well.
Yeah, the new look Colts, no Carson Wentz anymore. They go out, they trade for Matt Ryan, who I think is going to throw it a lot better than what Carson Wentz did. They had Alec Pierce in the draft. We know the great run game they have with that front and Jonathan Taylor. So, if you guys watched our video that we just put out where it was our top 3 free agents still available, you look at it and you're like, we could really use one of those run stuffers against a team like the Colts and a team like the Browns, where they still have Deshaun Watson, but they're a run heavy team, and the Steelers with Najee Harris. The Ravens have always been a run heavy team too. So we play some run heavy teams this year, and it's going to be interesting to see how New England stops that with, no big additions up to this point. And we've added a little bit more versatility at the linebacker position with the Mac Wilson, and we'll see what Amfrey Jennings, Cameron McGrone, guys like that can do in their second year, Ronnie Perkins. But it'll be interesting to see how New England holds up after getting, run all over on last year in Indianapolis. Now we get them at home. So get a little revenge game there. We go on bye week 10. I think this is one of the best placements for the bye week. It's not too early. It's not too late. Coming off of a game where you're going to be playing Indianapolis, you're going to probably be sore. It's going to be a tough physical game. And then you're going to get a bye week, and then you're going to now get the Jets at home for the last game against them. And, hopefully you go 2-0 against them, because this is a super tight division and you got to sweep one of these teams, hopefully.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to touch on too, real quick, that we kind of skipped over is the preseason. Here on the graphic, you guys can see it. We just pulled it up. Joint practices, I believe, with the Raiders. We also have seen a preseason game, first against the Giants, then Carolina, then against the Raiders. So we'll be seeing McDaniels before later in the season, which we'll touch on in a minute here. But that one's at Las Vegas. So we travel to Las Vegas twice this year, once in preseason, once during the regular season. You don't see that very often, playing a team in preseason and then playing them during the regular season. That's kind of odd to me. But yeah. So and also, like you were touching on with the run game thing, the Ravens, week 3, they also just drafted, I think, like 2 more tight ends. So they're definitely going to be run heavy. Like you were touching on, if we add one of those guys, I think that'd be huge. One of the free agents we were just talking about last video, that would be big. So like you said, bye week 10, that's a great bye week. Then we play the Jets on the Sunday. They also have the bye week 10. So no real advantage there for us, but another divisional game. Then the fun one of the most exciting games of the year, I think, is Thanksgiving. Patriots play on Thanksgiving for the first time since the butt fumble, and I believe 2012 that was. So they're going to be playing on Thursday night, Thanksgiving, 8:20 p.m. against the Vikings. That one's on the road in Minnesota. That's going to be a fun one. The Vikings aren't always the best team record-wise, but their offense is super exciting. They added some good defensive pieces. They drafted Andrew Booth. They grabbed some guys in free agency. So that's going to be a fun matchup. That's going to be a fun team for somebody we don't see a lot. Thursday Night Football on Thanksgiving. That's going to be an intriguing matchup.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson, one of the star young receivers in the league, and we all know what he's capable of, and it'll be interesting to see there. Dalvin Cook, if he's healthy, he's a weapon. Adam Thielen can, make things happen. So, like you mentioned, maybe not one of the best teams in the NFC or in the league, but it's going to be a tough matchup. And like you mentioned, it's so much better on Thanksgiving when your team's playing. I mean, it's always fun to sit down and stuff yourself and, feel fat and eat pie and watch football. But now you got the Patriots playing primetime, 8:20 on Thanksgiving at night. That's going to be, a fun day that I'm going to be looking forward to. And then following that, you're going to Buffalo, or Buffalo's coming to you, and you're going to play another primetime game here on Thursday Night Football. So this is interesting because Buffalo also plays on Thanksgiving. So you were thinking, oh, maybe New England's going to catch Buffalo on a short week. No, they play the Lions on Thanksgiving. So that's going to be a full week of rest for both us and Buffalo, going into that week 13 matchup on Thursday Night Football against the Bills.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. The Bills were tough for us this year, obviously late in the year. Hopefully our defense can hold up a little bit better. They added some pieces as well this year. So that's going to be a tough matchup, but that's going to be a fun one. Like you said, all these primetime games. This is the stretch of primetime games that we got right here. We have Thanksgiving, primetime, Thursday Night Football against the Bills, week 13. Then Monday Night Football, week 14 in Arizona against the Cardinals. That one's going to be another fun matchup. DeAndre Hopkins will be back by then. I know people were talking about his suspension, depending on when we play him, but he will be back by then. So they'll have DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, all those guys. And then the next primetime game, our last one of the year, possibly, is against the Raiders. Travel to Vegas. That's going to be a really exciting game. Playing at that new stadium. That stadium's insane. One of the craziest stadiums in the NFL. I almost said MLB, in the NFL. That's going to be a fun matchup. Going back, facing McDaniels. Not going to be easy. They added DeAndre Hopkins. They got just between DeAndre Hopkins and Darren Waller. They also got Josh Jacobs. They have a really good team, and they certainly swung for the fences there. The Raiders did once they got McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. So that's going to be another tough matchup. We got 4 primetime games back to back. So another tough challenge in Vegas.
Yeah, and the Devontae Adams edition right there, crazy. We play some dang good receivers here. You got Jamar Chase, you got Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Garrett Wilson, depending on what he does, Justin Jefferson, Christian Watson's a guy that we like. You got Amari Cooper, Claypool, and them can, have their own different uniquenesses and, ways that they can beat you. And then
Johnson's
Jameson Williams, if he's playing.
Still?
Yes.
Yep.
So you play some good receivers, and that's the scary thing is with the way our secondary is looking. Hopefully some guys step up. The rookies, Jack Jones, Marcus Jones, get some significant playing time. But that stretch right there of 4 straight primetime games, too bad only one of them's at home. But, you get primetime TV right there, and it's always going to be fun to watch there. And then you get a Christmas Eve day game, December 24th. You're playing versus Cincinnati, the defending AFC champions. Like I mentioned, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. Good defense there. Ted Karras will be there, coming back, I guess, if that's a storyline. Not really a storyline for Patriots fans, but the revenge tour, I don't know. But then you finish with 2 crucial games right here. And, depending on how New England plays in these first 15 games, these last 2 could make up could be the difference in the playoffs. So you're now playing versus Miami at home. They get to come to you, hopefully cold weather. And then you see the January 7th or 8th at Buffalo. That could be flex. They always do a doubleheader on Monday Night Football the last week of the year. So that could be your 6th primetime game for New England, and it's going to be at Buffalo. So, that's going to be probably a cold weather game, another tough one for the Patriots.
Another 3-pass game for the Patriots there in that one. No, if the Patriots are competitive at all this year, like on the verge of the playoffs, this game will be flexed. I guarantee it, just like it was this past year. It's going to be a fun game to watch. Another one's going to be tough. But what's interesting is we play back-to-back road games. We play back-to-back road games twice, and we only play back-to-back home games one time. So the first time, like you said, week 16 against the Bengals, then 17. Those are both at home. Bengals again, and then Miami. So yeah, like you said, last 2 weeks of the season, divisional matchups against 2 playoff caliber teams. These are, who knows where the standings are going to be at that time of the year, with Miami being very much improved. If Tua is just an average quarterback, that Dolphins team should be a playoff team for sure. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Patriots hold up and how they stack up in this division. I know we got a ton of cap space next offseason, so it's going to be probably next year, not this coming season, but the season after is going to be hopefully where we really get competitive. But I believe in some of these pieces we added. I believe in some of the guys that we added during the draft. If some of these guys hit, it's going to be really fun to watch how this offense changes. I know probably a lot of you, like myself, are concerned about the coaching aspect, but maybe they're switching the offense up. Maybe they got somebody that they believe in. That's got to be the hope. So I hope we we face a lot of challenging teams this year. So I hope we have a competitive team, competitive roster. I hope we're stacking up there with the top of the AFC in the end. I know we went on a hot stretch there last year, so hopefully we can have something like that. Be a little more consistent throughout the whole year. Get some big wins. If we can beat a couple of these teams that we're not supposed to beat and end up in the top to mid tier of the playoff hunt or AFC East race, that's going to be exciting. And especially the end of the year, facing these two division teams back to back. I hope those games mean a lot because it's going to be fun football to watch. That's what you want to see in January. Be playing meaningful games. That's the goal at the end of the year.
For sure. I will say it is nice to see New England have week 9 at home, a bye week, and then week 11 at home. You don't have to travel there. You're going to get 3 straight weeks, at home in your comfort, one of them a bye week. That should be a nice time to regroup. And we saw New England have a really hard time after the bye week, which is not New England like. So we'll see if this bye week's a little bit better to New England wise. But Colt, is there anything that what's the most exciting game for you, or what else do you have for this?
So yeah, real quick before I mention that, one thing we missed: the Cardinals have a bye the week before they play us, so they'll be on extra time. Raiders play Thursday night before they play us, so they'll have the 11 days or 10 days off, whatever it is. They'll have extra time. But as far as most exciting games, and I'm sure you'll touch on it here, but if I have to pick my number one, and then we'll talk about some other exciting ones, I'm really excited for Thanksgiving, playing the Vikings. I got 2 cousins of mine who are Vikings fans, so I'm sure we'll be chirping at Thanksgiving, which will be fun. It'll be exciting. But it's just going to be fun. I think the Vikings are such a fun team to watch. Like you said, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. Kirk is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. Is he the best in the league? No, but is he a really solid quarterback that gets pinned as kind of an average to below average guy? Yeah, I mean, he put up great numbers last year. I know the offense is stacked, but I think he's a solid quarterback, and I think the weapons they got there, the offense there, they got a new regime, they changed head coaches and stuff. So that game's going to be really fun to watch. And like you said, just Thanksgiving, that atmosphere, getting to watch your team on Thanksgiving. We haven't got to do that in literally 10 years. So I'm super thrilled about that Vikings one on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, nothing tops it Thanksgiving. I think maybe a Christmas Day game would be fun, but Thanksgiving's another big holiday in the NFL season, and that's awesome to have. For me, most exciting one, you're going to be playing the Raiders Sunday Night Football. The storylines there, they just go get Devontae Adams. They take the RGM. They take our offensive coordinator. They take a couple other position coaches. I'm excited for that game. I think that's going to be very exciting. And like you mentioned, that stadium, that city, Las Vegas, it's everything's bigger and better in Vegas. Everyone says that about Texas, but Vegas for sports, for anything really, you hang out. If you guys haven't been to that stadium, I've been there for the Pac-12 championship game last year and even seen it from afar on the road. It's breathtaking, and it's a crazy cool stadium. It will be a fun atmosphere. I expect a lot of Patriots fans to be at that game. I think that they'll travel pretty well, like New England fans always do. And Raider Nation is crazy too. So that will be, kind of a fun game to watch New England play. And then, the other ones that there's a lot of exciting games on here. I mean, obviously all the division games are going to be exciting for me. The other one though is going to be the Bears. And we talked about this, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, the battle, the storyline there. You get Monday Night Football. The Bears aren't the greatest team, but I think the storylines there are going to be fun. And then Monday Night Football is always exciting.
I think mine's second one. So I would agree with you. I'd go Thanksgiving, Raiders, and then my third one would be against the Packers at Lambeau Field. I don't know. I just getting to see just the history of that field and getting to play at that stadium and Mac's first time. Some of these rookies, some of these other players, gonna be their first time there. Lambeau's such a historic place, like you said, playing it early in the year. It's gonna be in October. Let's see, October 2nd. So before the real crazy weather gets there, but it's still gonna be loud stadium, great environment, tough road game. But if you're gonna pick a time to play the Packers, it's probably gonna be early in the season because you don't want to play at Lambeau late and play Aaron Rodgers and that group of guys late there in the season. And maybe they just got Christian Watson, so hopefully he's not super used to the NFL yet. Only 4 weeks in, maybe he'll have his growing pains. We can only hope. But that's gonna be a fun game at Lambeau Field. Then, like you said, Justin Fields playing the Bears, that's gonna be fun. Deshaun Watson, that's always a challenge. That'll be interesting. Colts, Ravens, Steelers, all games that always are fun when the Patriots and them match up, especially the Ravens and Steelers. I don't know why those two teams just always, when they duke it out, it's always a physical football game and it's always comes down to the wire and is entertaining. So super fun schedule, a lot of tough challenges. I hope this team can pull off a good season and hopefully make the playoffs and keep things interesting.
For sure. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys drop below what you think of the schedule, what games you're most excited for, and your record predictions. And keep an eye out for our record prediction videos. We'll be going live more in depth, talk about some of these games and how we see the Patriots faring in some of these games a little bit more in depth and analysis. But like, subscribe, comment, stay up to date with our channel and our Instagrams where we post notifications or turn post notifications on where you can stay up to date in real time. And we appreciate all you guys' support. And until next time, we will talk to you later.